Part 40. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 391. He shook his head and forced himself out of this thought. These things are too mysterious, and he can't get the truth now. Fortunately, the 10th generation God-given queen is not dead. If he can find a way to wake her up, maybe she can tell him some secrets. Thinking so, Lu Yu took all the God Source crystals in the small coffin into his palm. These God Source crystals Lu Yu will not leave behind, which are good things to help him raise the upper limit of moving mountains. Feeling happy, Lu Yu was about to take a step back along the road, and suddenly he was in trouble. All the traces of my way were wiped out by these guys hiding in the dark. How can I go back? Lu Yu had a headache, and at this time, a light and shadow appeared in front of him again. You haven't left yet. Lu Yu looked at the little girl's figure and was a little shocked. The little girl shook her head and walked forward. Lu Yu reacted and followed. However, he was more or less confused in his heart. How could this girl let him throw her body down, but not herself? After an unknown amount of time, Lu Yu finally saw the square with the stone statue. Are you leaving? Lu Yu looked at the little girl. The little girl nodded, a bright smile on her face, and then walked to the back. See you someday. Lu Yu waved. Of course, this was just a casual remark. I don't know when I will come to the ancient land next time. Unless, this girl has a way to get out. I can't control it. After saying goodbye to the little girl, Lu Yu looked inside the square. The square was already in a panic. Where is Lu Yu? Where did Lu Yu go? Mingzi looked around in panic. She had just woken up from her training, but she didn't see Lu Yu. She searched the entire square but couldn't find him. No one knew where he was. Others also frowned. They didn't expect Lu Yu to disappear. Mingzi, calm down. Lu Yu may have just gone out temporarily. Bai Mo comforted. Mingzi shook her head. Why didn't Lu Yu tell us when he went out? He was probably captured by those things. Bai Mo's mouth twitched. Do you think that with his strength, he was captured without any signs of resistance? Ming 11 didn't know how to refute it when he heard this. Did Lu Yu really walk out on his own initiative? Looking at the fight in the square, Lu Yu couldn't help but smile. He stepped and entered the square. I'm back. Lu Yu looked at Ming 11 with a calm smile. Ming 11 was stunned, then wiped his eyes. Unbelievable. Lu Yu. Yeah. Lu Yu nodded, and the next moment Ming 11 ran over and punched Lu Yu on the shoulder. You annoying guy. Aren't you afraid of death when you go out alone? Ming 11 vented his anger at Lu Yu. Lu Yu raised his eyebrows. Why do you care about me so much? Who cares about you? I don't care about you. Ming 11 snorted coldly. Bai Mo looked at Lu Yu with a puzzled look. Lu Yu, what did you do when you went out just now? I and others have been practicing for a long time, and it seems that Lu Yu has been out for a long time. Hearing this, Lu Yu smiled mysteriously. I was outside and found a big secret. Big secret? Everyone was immediately excited when they heard it. They all believed Lu Yu's words. In the ancient land, even the Tai realm strongmen would die if they came in. Lu Yu just went out alone and came back alive. They didn't believe that he had no gains. Looking at the curious faces of the few people, Lu Yu smiled and stretched out his palm. 100 star cores for 1 minute. Everyone? Are you crazy about star cores? This is a fee. Everyone was extremely angry, but in the end, they still paid. There is no way, this news is worth 100 star cores. 1 minute, it should be enough, right? Someone thought. Lu Yu looked at the 1000 star cores he had earned, and his expression was a little sad. Making money is really an easy thing. The thing is, I was attracted by a little girl, walked out, she led the way, and then I found something good. Lu Yu finished a sentence in 5 seconds. After hearing it, everyone looked at each other. No more. No more. Lu Yu spread his hands. In an instant, he saw the eyes of several people who seemed to want to eat him. Profiteer. Profiteer. Just one sentence, you sell 100 star cores. This is too easy for us to make money. Several people looked at Lu Yu angrily, and Mingzi did the same. She just paid the money. Lu Yu shook his head and sighed. There was not much information in the first place, and I didn't say it was a big deal. You want to give it yourself, so you can't blame me. You can't return it? Lu Yu smiled. He automatically skipped the matter related to the 10th generation of God-given queen and the south gate of heaven. Even the little girl's coffin, he didn't tell anyone. If he told anyone, these guys would go there even if they were not afraid of death, and that would be a big trouble. Just because something didn't attack him, it didn't mean it wouldn't attack them. After hearing Lu Yu's words, everyone could only endure it even if they were unhappy. Everyone snorted coldly and sat back. Lu Yu also found his previous seat and sat down. He flipped his hand and a piece of God Source crystal appeared. Chapter 0300 Lu Yu. I want it so much, the third stage of the God bloodline. God Source crystal. At this moment, this God Source crystal is emitting golden light, and a holy breath is spreading from it. Lu Yu just received a total of 14 such God Source crystals, and copied them once. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Shui. Chapter 392. That is to say, I now have 28 pieces of God Source crystals, which should be enough for any use. Lu Yu looked happy. With these God Source crystals, my Takumai limit may be even more abnormal than the mountain moving limit. Thanks to the mountain moving limit, my strength in the 9th level of Takumai is 18 million kilograms. This strength is enough to hold the hammer of ordinary Tongxian realm. And if my Takumai limit can also reach a perverted level, then Lu Yu will be sure as long as he enters the Tongxian realm. All the so-called geniuses below the 6th level of Tongxian are swept away. This confidence comes from the accumulation of body refining and mountain moving. The limit broken is much higher than other geniuses, and the higher the realm, the greater the gains. The basic attributes alone are absolutely crushing. Lu Yu's mood became a little excited. And next to him, Mingzi looked at the God Source crystal in Lu Yu's hand and was stunned for a moment. What is this? Not only her, Bai Mo and others also noticed the God Source crystal in Lu Yu's hand. There is no way, that kind of breath is too extraordinary. When I and others just sensed it, they felt that they were extremely eager to get it. There is almost no need to think, this is definitely a good thing. Lu Yu, what is in your hand? Mingzi stared at the Shen Yuan crystal in Lu Yu's hand with a blank face. This is what I just found, Lu Yu said casually. Hearing this, Mingzi couldn't help but look longingly. Lu Yu, you are thinking about shit. Lu Yu interrupted her directly. Are you kidding? You want to get the Shen Yuan crystal for free? Okay. Pay a price. Lu Yu looked at Mingzi with a smile on his face, and even shook the Shen Yuan crystal in his hand. Mingzi saw it and immediately stamped his feet in anger. I will ignore you. I will ignore you if you don't want to. Lu Yu pouted. And next to him, several girls looked at Lu Yu with their eyes shining. Brother Lu Yu, I want it. I want it too. And I want it so much. Several girls surrounded Lu Yu, and they were very active. As soon as they got close to Lu Yu, the breath of the divine source crystal made them feel ecstatic. It's definitely a good thing. Seeing these girls taking the initiative, Lu Yu smiled calmly. Actually, Lu Yu spoke, and several girls looked over at the same time, blinking their eyes. As long as Lu Yu could come out together and accompany him for a while, it wouldn't be impossible. After all, Lu Yu is a potential stock at first glance. If they get in touch with him now, there will definitely be benefits in the future. Actually, you are dreaming, Lu Yu smiled. Damn. You still want to cheat me of the divine source crystal? Why don't you go and die? When the three girls heard what Lu Yu said, they were all stunned. Next to him, Mingzi burst into laughter. Ha ha ha, you three are just trying to get something for nothing hhhhh. Mingzi's smile, coupled with Lu Yu's words, instantly made the three people's faces turn red, and they left in disgrace. Lu Yu sneered, come on, Mingzi, come. Get lost. Mingzi yelled angrily, her smile gone. Lu Yu pouted. This girl has a bad temper. Without paying too much attention, Lu Yu started practicing again. This time, it was with the assistance of the God Source Crystal. A huge amount of star source power was once again absorbed by Lu Yu. Everyone was dumbfounded and could only watch Lu Yu practice. This was to let them see how extraordinary the God Source Crystal was. The golden light on it burst out and wrapped around Lu Yu, and the golden blood on Lu Yu's body actually burst out, clearing the darkness around him. At the same time, Lu Yu's breath was also rising steadily, which was amazing to the extreme. What kind of bloodline does this guy have? Bai Mo frowned more and more. Others' eyes were already wide open, staring blankly at Lu Yu, who was madly absorbing the power of the star source, not knowing what to say. As for Lu Yu himself, he could feel that his strength was growing rapidly. In just half a day, Lu Yu broke the limit of Takumi. The strength was directly above 18 million kilograms, and was rapidly approaching the 20 million mark. A day later, Lu Yu's strength broke through 20 million kilograms. The whole square was shaken, and Bai Mo looked at Lu Yu in astonishment. This guy, pure physical strength, has already broken through 10 million kg. Bai Mo was shocked. At the same time, Lu Yu's strength was still growing rapidly. Another day and night passed. During this day and night, almost everyone was watching Lu Yu practice. It was also felt that Lu Yu's strength was getting stronger little by little. This feeling made them collapse in their hearts. There is no other way. I can't practice, so I can only watch him practice. But watching this guy's increasingly abnormal strength is really uncomfortable. Just when everyone was depressed, suddenly, the golden divine source crystal made a cracking sound, dimmed in an instant, and turned into a pile of fragments. At the same time, the aura on Lu Yu's body suddenly surged. With Lu Yu as the center, the ground was actually cracking. Lu Yu opened his eyes and gently punched. The next moment, the space seemed to be collapsing, making a sonic boom. This punch stunned everyone. Without using any techniques, just a simple punch, the power can be so terrible. I'm afraid Lu Yu's pure physical strength is more than 20 million kilograms. Everyone looked at Lu Yu with fear. It's true. With just a piece of God Source crystal, Lu Yu's strength reached an astonishing 25 million kilograms. An increase of 7 million kilograms. In other words, an increase of 7,000 tons of strength. A total of 25,000 tons of strength. In other words, if Lu Yu returns to the Earth before his crossing. With just one punch, a 10,000 ton ship will be scrapped directly if it fully bears his strength. This makes Lu Yu feel very happy. He estimated that his Takumi limit might be far beyond his imagination. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu. Chapter 393. Now I still have 27 pieces of God Source crystals, which is definitely enough. When Lu Yu was happy, he naturally did not forget to look at other people. Seeing the dumbfounded eyes of the crowd, Lu Yu sighed. Sure enough, excellent people are like this. When Lu Yu was about to close his eyes and start absorbing the God Source crystals, suddenly, he thought of something. Wait, did I forget something? Okay. System, where is my reward? Lu Yu asked coldly. I said something was missing, and it turned out that I forgot to take the reward. You don't want to pretend to be dead without saying anything, right? There is no way, this genius has a good memory. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 5% bloodline development. Ding. Congratulations to the host for entering the third stage of the God bloodline and awakening the innate ability. Chapter 0301 Eye of Divine Vision, Mingzi is Black. Ding. Congratulations to the host for entering the third stage of the God bloodline and awakening the innate ability of Divine Vision. Divine Vision, Eye of Divine Vision, can see through hypocrisy and peek into the origin. At the same time as the system sounded, the next moment, Lu Yu's eyes shone with golden light. A pair of eyes seemed to turn into divine pupils. At this moment, everything around him was no longer secretive. Even the darkness seemed to be seen through by himself, and there was a dark shadow in trance. This. Lu Yu was stunned. There was no other reason. This is too awesome. The eyes of divine vision can see through everything? Just look at this introduction to know how awesome it is. Lu Yu looked outside. Those gloomy darkness, at this moment, could no longer block his sight. In his eyes, the outside seemed to be covered with a layer of light gray fog, and there were dark shadows active in it, looking at Lu Yu with hideous faces. Realizing that they were discovered, those dark shadows were roaring and roaring, trying to rush into the square to kill Lu Yu. But the 8 stone statues suddenly burst into brilliant light, forcing the darkness back. This scene attracted everyone's attention. What happened to Lu Yu? Everyone was shocked. They had been paying attention to Lu Yu, and they saw the changes in Lu Yu at this moment. And Lu Yu also looked at them. The next moment, everyone who was caught by Lu Yu's gaze felt a tremendous pressure. It was as if the world was overturned, and a terrifying scene appeared in those eyes. The world was torn apart. One after another, the galaxies exploded like fireworks and turned into streams of light and annihilated. This was too terrible, and everyone was terrified and couldn't help but kneel down. Mo didn't look directly at Lu Yu, but he still felt the terrifying pressure in Lu Yu's eyes. Impossible! Mo roared. He could accept being defeated by Lu Yu, but he absolutely couldn't accept it. Lu Yu just glanced at him, and he had to kneel down to him. Mo's ancient body was reviving, and a terrifying power was awakening. He was bursting with white light all over his body, and he burst out his strength without reservation. But, even so, Mo still knelt. Kneeling down completely out of control. His body was trembling, and his blood seemed to be frozen. Facing such power, he was completely unable to resist. Boom! Mo also knelt down. In the entire square, everyone knelt down. They looked at Lu Yu, their eyes were a little confused. What happened? What happened to Lu Yu? Why did he and others kneel down uncontrollably? When everyone was confused, Lu Yu was not much better. He was also a little confused. Damn it! I didn't activate the blood pressure just now, how can you kneel down just by saying so? Host, use the divine vision, and wherever you look, it's like a god looking down. The voice of the system sounded just right. Lu Yu understood it after hearing this. He didn't need to do anything to use the divine vision. Just look at the opponent, and the opponent kneeled directly, right? Wonderful. Just imagine standing there with your hands behind your back. No need to do anything, just look over like this, and bang bang bang, a group of people kneel down. What kind of scene is this? Coupled with the white clothes that are whiter than snow and the proud face, that is definitely a peerless genius. Not bad, very wonderful. Lu Yu's mood was a little excited. And then, Lu Yu discovered some wonderful uses of the divine vision. This girl, black. Lu Yu looked at Mingzi with a puzzled look. In his eyes, Mingzi's clothes, wearing it, are the same as not wearing it. Not only clothes, everything on Mingzi, Lu Yu can see clearly. For example, the top and bottom are all black, for example. Ahem, the unspeakable meeting, the unspeakable meeting. The scale is not small. Lu Yu commented secretly. In addition to being able to see through some appearances, Lu Yu was surprised to find that the divine vision can actually see through the operation of the star source power in the warrior's body. Damn. Mingzi, get up and attack me, Lu Yu said tentatively. He didn't know what other wonderful uses the divine vision had. Mingzi frowned slightly when she heard Lu Yu's words. Lu Yu, what are you doing? Ming 11 stood up, and the others also stood up. Lu Yu's eyes suddenly returned to normal, and the pressure on them disappeared, which made everyone feel relieved, but also very confused. Lu Yu, what happened just now? Lu Yu shook his head in frustration at the doubts of these people. Just now, I accidentally realized a martial art. As Lu Yu spoke, he used his divine vision again. The next moment, everyone knelt again. Everyone? Are you kidding me? Just a random realization led to such a powerful martial art. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu. Chapter 394. Can you please give me a dozen of these epiphanies? Everyone looked at Lu Yu with resentment. Baimo's expression was extremely complicated. This guy, what other trump cards does he have that he doesn't use? Ahem, everyone, please get up. You're too polite. Kneeling once is enough. What's the point of kneeling twice? How about we make it up and kneel 3 times? Lu Yu asked. Everyone, dishes, equals. If they hadn't considered that they couldn't defeat them together, they would probably take action at this moment. This guy is really annoying. Seeing that everyone was silent, Lu Yu looked at Mingzi with a smile. Mingzi, I'll give you a chance to take action. I won't fight back. Are you sure? Mingzi looked unhappy. Lu Yu nodded. I'm sure and sure, I will never fight back. Good. Mingzi agreed directly. She had wanted to beat Lu Yu for a long time, but she had no choice. This guy was really annoying. It's okay to raise a dog to bully Xiaohong, but he still bullies himself. Lu Yu looked satisfied when he saw Mingzi agreeing. He just wanted to see how divine vision could help in battle. Okay, you can take action now. Lu Yu put his hands behind his back with an arrogant expression on his face. This made Mingzi grind her teeth. I'll beat you to death. The next moment, Ming 11 took action, punching directly towards Lu Yu's chest. Lu Yu caught a hint of change in his eyes the moment Mingzi punched. The power of the surrounding star sources poured into Mingzi's body, circulated in her body, merged with her own power, and finally punched. Each scene seemed to be played infinitely slowly in Lu Yu's eyes, giving him enough time to think. Interestingly, this girl Mingzi must have practiced some special method, and she can actually use some external power. Lu Yu smiled and casually held Ming 11's fist. The next moment, the power of Mingzi's punch was neutralized. From the perspective of others, it was as if he had jumped into Lu Yu's arms. Lu Yu was also hit hard. Not bad, the buffer is in place. Your punch is not very powerful. Lu Yu smiled and patted Mingzi's butt without leaving any trace. When Mingzi saw this, a cute smile appeared on her face. That's it? Do you feel comfortable now? As she spoke, she pushed her knees up. Lu Yu. Chapter 0302 Crybaby Mingzi, This guy is pretending. Lu Yu. Digging. What a sneak attack. Lu Yu was shocked. What if I get beaten up? My great career in the spring and autumn period is probably over here. You are cruel enough. Lu Yu stretched out his hand and directly blocked Ming 11's knee. Humph. I'll beat you to death. Ming 11 was about to take action again when Lu Yu suddenly pinched her calf with one hand. As soon as he exerted force, a scream came out. Let me go. Ming 11 was lifted up by Lu Yu's calf, and she stood upside down. Let me go, Lu Yu. Mingzi was furious. Seeing this, Lu Yu really let go. Boom. Mingzi's head hit the ground directly, making a crisp sound. Your little head is buzzing, right? Lu Yu looked at the dull Mingzi with a smile. Mingzi looked at Lu Yu, her eyes blank at first, and soon her eyes filled with tears. Lu Yu, you bullied me, I want to tell my mother, Mingzi said with tears. Lu Yu. Holy shit. You can't afford it? Lu Yu pouted. Crybaby. You're the crybaby. No, you are. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? I am, no, you are. Ming 11 was a little confused by Lu Yu. Everyone around looked at the scene with bewildered expressions. No, we agreed to fight. Why did you two start it again? Lu Yu laughed and quarreled with Mingzi, but in the end Mingzi was the first to lose. I'm ignoring you. Ignore me for how long? 5 seconds. Please wait a little longer, I want to be quiet for a while. Get out of here. Mingzi felt like she was going to be angry to death, so she sat aside and started to sulk. Lu Yu was extremely happy. It's amazing that this girl can get herself involved in a quarrel with this girl. However, the innate ability of divine vision is very powerful. This talent is different from the previous talents such as divine might and divine presence, but it is biased towards assisting daily life and is quite practical. For example, just like when Ming 11 attacked him, he could not only see clearly what color she was wearing today. And the fluctuations are. No, I thought wrong. She should even be able to clearly see the changes in star source power, application of laws, etc. when she takes action. Moreover, under divine vision, the opponent's movements will be infinitely slowed down, but he will not be affected. This is the coolest thing. It's just perspective and scanning. Oh yes, there is still time to stop. For some reason, Lu Yu always felt like he was thinking a little wrong. If I were to walk around the streets with this ability, MYSS, I can't imagine how sour it would be. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 395. Lu Yu was so happy that another piece of God Source crystal appeared in his hand. The third stage has been completed. Now the most important thing is to break through the Tongxian realm. When the others saw it, they were immediately stunned. Still coming. Lu Yu, can you take a break and practice for us? A genius came over and asked carefully. Hearing this, Lu Yu put down the God Source crystal. Practice for you? Sure, Lu Yu, am a reasonable person. How about this, 1000 star cores a day, and you can bargain if it doesn't work. Lu Yu looked at the genius with a smile. 1000 star cores a day. Everyone almost went berserk on the spot when they heard Lu Yu's words. But considering Lu Yu's strength, they all endured it. 1000 star cores a day, there are exactly 10 people except Lu Yu. On average, it is 100 star cores. With this calculation, everyone felt better. Immediately, one of them took out 100 star cores. If everyone can pool their money, it should be possible. Soon, 1000 star cores appeared in front of Lu Yu. Lu Yu looked at these star cores and smiled. Everyone, I'm talking about 1000 star cores per person. Everyone? Are you crazy about money? 1,000 star cores per person, that means 10,000 star cores. Robbers don't dare to do this, for fear that they can't fit. Instantly, everyone was silent. Seeing this, Lu Yu sighed helplessly. I can't do anything about this. The value of everyone's time is different, hey. As he said that, Lu Yu took the God Source Crystal and was about to start practicing. But he glanced at Mingzi. Sister Mingzi, do you want to join us? Get out. Mingzi yelled angrily. Lu Yu pouted when he saw this. If you don't want to, forget it. You've missed a great opportunity. Humph. Ming 11 hugged his shoulders. There is no time in cultivation. 3 days passed when Lu Yu was practicing this time. 3 days later, the God Source Crystal shattered, and Lu Yu slowly opened his eyes. As soon as he opened his eyes, Lu Yu saw 10 pairs of resentful eyes. I'm going to vomit blood. I'm really going to vomit blood. 3 days. The feeling of watching the surging power of the star source, but not being able to absorb it at all, is simply maddening. I'm going crazy. I can't sleep because of the discomfort. Everyone just looked at Lu Yu for 3 days. Lu Yu himself was also shocked by this look. Everyone, I admit that I am very good, but what's wrong with you guys? Lu Yu looked puzzled. I can understand that the woman looked at me. After all, her personality charm is too great, there is nothing I can do about it. But, what the hell are you six? Bai Mo's eyes were already bloodshot, he looked at Lu Yu and couldn't say a word. What else can I say? If it weren't for his own strength, he would have wanted to rub this guy to the ground. It's so infuriating. Hey, everyone, it's only 10,000 star cores, it's really not expensive. Lu Yu sighed helplessly, no one responded. Seeing this, Lu Yu didn't say anything. If you are stingy, you will never achieve great things. Taking out another piece of God Source Crystal, Lu Yu ignored their eyes that looked like they wanted to eat people and devoted himself to cultivation. Time is like flowing water, this time, 2 days passed. When Lu Yu opened his eyes again, he saw a tired look. Lu Yu, are you done? Bai Mo said hoarsely. Hearing this, Lu Yu shook his head, it's far from enough. Lu Yu shook his head. 2 pieces of God Source Crystal only increased the power by 10 million kilograms, and now the total is only 35 million kilograms, which is really a waste. Lu Yu complained. Everyone, I /U0026, UN %. Pretend. This guy is definitely pretending. 35 million kilograms. Bai Mo was not even sure if his Takumi limit could reach this point. Lu Yu actually said, just now. Trash. This guy is so arrogant. In fact, it's not Lu Yu's fault. There is no way. For him, 35 million kilograms is indeed a bit of a rubbish. Lu Yu estimated that his limit should be 60 million kilograms. Sighing, this time, Lu Yu directly took out 5 pieces of God Source Crystal, which made everyone gasp. Damn, how much benefit did this guy get? Everyone saw the power of God Source Crystal. When Lu Yu used this thing, his realm was skyrocketing. But there was nothing he could do, he and others could only watch. Everyone looked at the darkness outside. They also wanted to explore, but they really didn't dare. If they died outside, it would be a big deal. Helplessly, everyone could only wait again. This wait lasted for half a month. Half a month later, Lu Yu opened his eyes again. Chapter 0303 I am still such a loser, reaching a bottleneck. Half a month later, Lu Yu opened his eyes again. This time, the aura of his whole body has almost reached a peak. The golden blood spread out uncontrollably, and the darkness around the square was cleared. This. Everyone stared at Lu Yu in a daze, only to see Lu Yu stand up and punch the dark area outside the square. Bang! The next moment, the golden blood condensed into a big fist, which was directly blasted thousands of meters away, and the darkness dissipated. Everyone who saw this scene, including Mo, couldn't help but feel their scalps tingling. It's not that they haven't seen Lu Yu take action before, but at most he could clear the darkness within 300 meters around him. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Shui. Chapter 396. At this moment, this punch directly reached a distance of 1000 meters. His strength is stronger. Everyone smacked their lips, and Mo even slapped his thigh. Damn it, it's really uncomfortable to see Lu Yu become stronger. Lu Yu himself looked at the distance of the punch and sighed. I'm still such a waste. Everyone? Why don't you point and criticize me here? Is fingerprint unlocking okay? Who do you look down on? You say you are trash, then aren't we worse than trash? Everyone was furious. When Lu Yu saw this scene, his expression became serious. Everyone, please don't bring it in on your own. The trash I'm talking about is myself, definitely not you. In my eyes, you are all top-notch geniuses, Lu Yu praised. However, his words made everyone feel even more uncomfortable. Depend on. You've already pretended to be beeping, are you going to come back to support me? Is it good to be a human being? A group of geniuses grind their teeth. Seeing this, Lu Yu sighed helplessly. He couldn't understand why his sincere words always had unexpected results. I am really praising you. Just like Mo, he at least took 3 of my moves. You know, back then I was always able to do it in 1 move. This is already very strong, okay. Absolute genius. Lu Yu sighed inwardly, and 10 more divine source crystals appeared in his hand. The previous 5 Shen Yuan crystals increased his strength by 15 million kilograms. Now it is 50 million kilograms. Lu Yu already felt a little difficult. Presumably, it is about to reach a bottleneck. With this thought in his mind, Lu Yu quickly entered a state of cultivation. This time, it was longer. A month passed quickly. The aura on Lu Yu's body became more and more terrifying. Everyone looked at Lu Yu. From anger at the beginning, to jealousy, to the helplessness now, no one knows how many twists and turns there are. I've fallen asleep several times in a whole month, and this guy keeps going. Everyone was so bored that they almost collapsed. He couldn't go anywhere outside the square, so he could only watch Lu Yu practice. It feels really uncomfortable to watch others getting stronger little by little while you can only stand still. Finally, on this day, 10 divine source crystals in Lu Yu's hands shattered at the same time. Boom! An extremely tyrannical aura spread out from Lu Yu's body. The darkness all around seemed to be cleared away. 1,000 meters away, everything is bright. Lu Yu's golden energy and blood turned into a vast ocean, into big waves, one after another. Many geniuses are in it, but they feel so stressed that they can't even stand. You know, Lu Yu is probably unconscious now and is still cultivating, so his power is so terrifying. If this is really an enemy, what's the point? I'm afraid this has already broken through to the Tongxian realm, right? As if confirming what they were thinking, Lu Yu opened his eyes after a moment. Boom! In his eyes, golden light bloomed, as if penetrating everything and carving a hole in the darkness. Others knelt down instantly, unable to withstand such terrifying pressure any longer. Not even close. Lu Yu frowned. His voice made everyone despair. Even Mo felt that it was hard to breathe. Not even close. Didn't he break through to Tongxian? Everyone's eyes were horrified to the extreme, especially by Mo. He has such power even before he has broken through to Tongxian. So if you break through to Tongxian, is it still possible? While everyone was shocked, Lu Yu stood up. Everyone, you can practice, Lu Yu said. He felt that he had reached a limit now. 59.99 million kilograms. 60 million kilograms should be my Takumi limit. However, for the last 10,000 kilograms, Lu Yu tried every means but failed to break through. It seems that the problem has nothing to do with the Shenyuan crystal, but something is missing. Lu Yu thought, then turned and left the square. Lu Yu. Mingzi became anxious. I'm fine, don't worry, Lu Yu said. The next moment, he stepped into the darkness. When everyone saw Lu Yu disappear, they looked at each other and immediately meditated and began to absorb the power of the star source. Depend on. This guy is finally gone. Everyone was surprised, except Mingzi, who frowned slightly. This guy is really not afraid of death. She was worried and finally started practicing. Lu Yu was fine before, so he should be fine this time too, right? In the darkness, Lu Yu noticed it as soon as he stepped into it. Around him, something once again surrounded him. How to break the last 10,000 kg? Lu Yu was troubled. The next moment, he suddenly concealed the golden energy and blood on his body and stretched out his hand to look to the side. Get out. A black shadow was caught by Lu Yu. The ferocious face looked a little dazed at the moment. How does this human race know that he is nearby? Before it could think about it, the next moment, Lu Yu hit the sky fist directly into black mist. Forget it, if you can't figure it out, just don't think about it, come and fight. In the end, Lu Yu could only attribute this reason to the fact that he had been absorbing it but not solidifying the foundation. Now, his restrained golden energy and blood are fighting. With the divine vision, the so-called darkness, in his eyes, is at most a haze, far from being an obstacle. He threw another punch, and 4 or 5 black shadows exploded next to him. Lu Yu moved forward all the way, and wherever he passed, even the darkness dimmed. He also killed heartily, and even the previous bottleneck was slightly loosened. It is true. Lu Yu was surprised. He was still wondering why he couldn't break through before. After all, he was a divine talent, and there shouldn't be any realm obstacles. Now it seems that the foundation is still not solid. Continue. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu. Chapter 397. Lu Yu was extremely happy to kill, and he didn't even take the red electric gun. He relied on Tian Xiao Fist to kill the enemy. Time passed by, and Lu Yu forgot how long it had been. The golden blood gave him almost endless physical energy. If the power of the star source was not enough, he could just take out a few hundred star cores to replenish it. It can be said that Lu Yu's state was always at the peak. It can even be said that he should continue to kill the black shadows. His use of combat skills is becoming more and more proficient. However, after beating this kind of monster, it eventually attracted the attention of some existences. At some point, the surrounding darkness became extremely dense, and a darkness deeper than darkness was approaching. Lu Yu looked forward, and a huge black shadow was approaching. Chapter 0304 The Existence of Darkness, the Essence of a Repeater. A huge black shadow was approaching. Lu Yu rubbed his wrist and looked forward. Are the big guys coming? Lu Yu looked puzzled. Bai Mo and others said before that the strong men in Tai realm had been lost here and never came out again. I have been fighting small monsters for so long, and now the big guy comes? System, can I beat it? Lu Yu asked the system. With the blessing of the Eye of Divine Vision, he can see the appearance of the big guy clearly. There is no face, or the face is just black. The body is the same, and the outline of the whole body seems to be integrated with the darkness. He is holding a weapon in his hand, which seems to be a sledgehammer, dragging it on the ground. Host, do you still need to consult the system for this kind of question? No matter who it is, just go. Believe that you are invincible. The system's words sounded, which made Lu Yu stunned. Good guy. You didn't say a word of usefulness, and you came up to give me chicken blood? So it's not you who is injured anyway, right? Lu Yu said that he had seen through the system. Looking at the big guy walking towards him in front, Lu Yu had some plans in his heart. Do you want to fight or not? Nonsense, it must be a fight. If I can't beat it, can't I run? What if I beat it, won't it explode some equipment? Lu Yu's arm trembled, and the next moment the red electric gun was replaced by an ancient bronze sword. Descendants of the gods, die. Lu Yu had just changed his weapon when the black shadow in front stopped and looked at Lu Yu, and actually spoke. This made Lu Yu stunned. Intelligent. Brother, do you understand what I say? Die. The black shadow didn't say anything more to Lu Yu, and turned the giant hammer behind him and hammered directly at Lu Yu. This made Lu Yu frown. It's not easy to communicate. With a light jump, he dodged the hammer. Hey brother, let's talk it over. I want to ask you something. Lu Yu looked at the black shadow calmly. From the hammer just now, he probably saw something. This big guy should not be strong enough to wipe him out. Don't panic. Faced with Lu Yu's inquiry, the black shadow did not respond and turned the hammer again. Boom. The ground around was cracking, and even the darkness was surging like a tide because of this hammer. Damn, let's talk some sense, okay. Lu Yu dodged another hammer and looked at the black shadow with a bad face. He didn't want to act so quickly now. This guy seemed to have some intelligence, and he might be able to find out something. But he didn't cooperate. God Clan. Die. The black shadow hammered down again. Lu Yu was completely speechless. Damn it. Where's the repeater? Kill it. Lu Yu no longer had any scruples, and the ancient bronze sword in his hand burst into brilliant light. Boom. Even though Lu Yu didn't use the power of his bloodline in this attack, the black shadow still took a step back when the sword fell. Yimai, how do you have this artifact? The black shadow looked at Lu Yu in horror as if he had discovered something extraordinary. Lu Yu was stunned when he heard it. Not a repeater? Good guy. You were playing cool with me before. Ignoring me. Lu Yu took a step back and became more and more angry, so he simply struck with another sword. Boom. The black shadow took another step back, and it seemed as if even the ground was shaking when it fell. A faint light appeared in its eyes, staring at the bronze ancient sword in Lu Yu's hand. Why is this artifact in your hand? Are you curious? Lu Yu smiled. The black shadow hesitated for a moment and nodded. Seeing this, Lu Yu smiled even more happily. Will you be angry if I don't tell you? After saying that, Lu Yu struck with another sword. Boom. This time the black shadow raised the hammer and blocked Lu Yu's attack. You will die if you hold this artifact. He went crazy, as if he wanted to swallow up all the darkness around him. Endless darkness poured into the black shadow's body, and its figure was rising, making a crackling sound. Countless painful faces appeared on that black face. Die. The black shadow swung the hammer again. Seeing this, Lu Yu smiled calmly. You are gone. As soon as the sentence fell, Lu Yu activated the power of his blood. The next moment, a golden aura spread, and a shadow was approaching. Lu Yu slashed with the sword, and in an instant, the black shadow was seriously injured. Even the giant hammer broke into 2 pieces. Go. Lu Yu dragged the black shadow and left directly. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS level talents at the beginning. Author, Yun Zhōn Mu Shui. Chapter 398. Square. Everyone woke up from their practice and looked at the distance in surprise. There seems to be a battle wave there, someone said. Mingzi looked worried. It should be Lu Yu. Indeed, it couldn't be anyone else except Lu Yu. With such a strong battle wave, Lu Yu must be in trouble. Others also had different expressions. Is Lu Yu in trouble? Let's go save him. Mingzi became anxious. Her words made everyone hesitate. To be honest, it's not realistic to ask them to save Lu Yu. The situation outside is too complicated. Even if they go out, it's unknown whether they can survive. Mingzi, don't worry, Lu Yu is unlikely to get into trouble, Mo said. Lu Yu might get into trouble? Don't be funny, if they are dead, that freak may still be dancing on their graves. Mingzi heard this, not only did he not relax, but he became more anxious. God knows what the situation outside is like, and no one knows whether Lu Yu is safe. At this moment, a figure suddenly appeared outside the square. Lu Yu stepped into the square, dragging something behind him. I'm so tired. Lu Yu dragged the black shadow into the square. In an instant, the black mist evaporated from the black shadow, and it screamed and struggled continuously. But Lu Yu stepped on it, making it unable to move. This. Everyone looked at the thing under Lu Yu's feet and was stunned. What is this? The existence in the darkness. It was dragged back by Lu Yu. I'm so. Everyone looked at Lu Yu with shock. This is the first time I heard that someone could drag back the weird existence in the darkness. Mingzi was relieved to see Lu Yu return safely. Lu Yu, are you okay? It's okay, I can still fight with you for 300 rounds. Lu Yu smiled. Mingzi was instantly annoyed when he heard this. I'm fine, I'm fine. Lu Yu still had a smiling expression on his face, which made Mingzi very angry. I was so worried about him, but he didn't take it seriously. Mingzi stomped her feet and started to sulk again, which made Lu Yu feel very happy. It's fun to tease this girl. Lu Yu looked at the others after collecting his thoughts. When the others saw Lu Yu looking at him, they quickly lowered their heads. There's no way, this guy is too perverted. Even the existence in the darkness was tied back. What is he going to do? Many people were curious. Lu Yu stepped on the big guy under his feet. Can you talk? Lu Yu said. The black shadow at this moment was almost dead after being burned by the white light. The reason why Lu Yu dragged the black shadow here was very simple. If he killed this guy outside, it would probably be resurrected in some way. This kind of thing is constructed by darkness itself, and killing them in the darkness is the same as not killing them. But it was different when it was wiped out by the light of the stone statue. It was really dead. Relict, what do you want to do? Chapter 0305 Existence Behind the Crack, Breaking Through Tongxian. Relict, what do you want to do? The black shadow stopped struggling, staring at Lu Yu with a faint light flashing. Hearing this, Lu Yu smiled indifferently. Nothing, I just want to ask you, where is this place? Lu Yu spoke in a voice that only the other party could hear. The next moment, he disappeared with the black shadow. In the darkness, Lu Yu stepped on the black shadow. If you don't talk, I don't mind taking you back. Hearing this, the dark light in the black shadow's eyes became even brighter. Don't you know? I don't know. Lu Yu was very frank. He noticed that one of the black shadow's hands was moving, and he chopped it off with a sword. Relict. The black shadow roared. Lu Yu stepped on his head. Stop talking nonsense and tell me where this place is. Heh, isn't this the territory of your god clan? The black shadow said with contempt. The land of your god clan has disappeared for 9 out of 10 times, and a remnant like you won't live long. Lu Yu fell into deep thought after hearing this. Is this also the place of the god clan? What's the name of this place? You don't deserve it. You talk too much. Lu Yu directly cut off the Black Shadow's arm with a sword. The Black Shadow roared and stared at Lu Yu. The ruins of Nantianmen, part of the former moon god heaven, the Black Shadow looked at Lu Yu and said word by word. The heaven of your god clan has collapsed, and a street rat like you will eventually follow their path. The Black Shadow seemed to deliberately provoke Lu Yu and mocked loudly. Lu Yu heard this and said that he was not upset, but it was a lie. Sure enough, the moon god heaven was defeated, and even the heaven was beaten to collapse. Is this the corner of the former heaven? Lu Yu looked around, the ruins were in ruins. Okay, let me ask you another question, what is behind the Great Wall? Why are you asking this? The shadow instantly became alert. Lu Yu didn't waste any words, and another sword fell. Speak or not? Don't speak, otherwise you will be punished. The Black Shadow roared, not daring to mention the matter at all. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Shui. Chapter 399. This made Lu Yu look a little unhappy. This is clearly an excuse. What punishment? Will I die if I tell about this? Tell it. Lu Yu cut off the other arm of the Black Shadow with a sword. The Black Shadow roared again, and he seemed to be able to sense the pain. The most important thing is that Lu Yu cut off its arm with the ancient bronze sword, and it could not condense again. Can't say. Can't say. You can't know the truth. Why don't you go to the Great Wall yourself? The Black Shadow roared, trying to break free from Lu Yu's restraints. But how could Lu Yu let it go? He stepped hard. If you don't tell me, you will definitely have no chance of survival. Lu Yu put the sword against the Black Shadow's head. Seeing this, the Black Shadow's eyes flashed. Do you really want to know? Aren't you talking nonsense? Lu Yu curled his lips. Hee, you can't know the truth. Damn. Are you kidding me? Lu Yu was angry, raised his hand and fell with a few swords. In an instant, the Black Shadow turned into a human stick. It roared in pain, and its body was disintegrating. I'll give you one last chance. If you don't tell me, I'll really kill you, Lu Yu said. The Black Shadow was panting and breathing in a large piece of darkness. He stared at Lu Yu and finally couldn't bear it anymore. I can tell you, but you have to promise that you must let me go as soon as I finish speaking, otherwise I will die. Okay. Lu Yu didn't hesitate and agreed directly. No matter how much, agree first. Remember your promise. The Black Shadow took a deep breath. On the other side of the Great Wall, it's you. Before the Black Shadow finished speaking, suddenly, its voice disappeared. But in Lu Yu's eyes, the Black Shadow was clearly still speaking, but he couldn't hear any sound. The Black Shadow obviously realized this and looked panicked. It was struggling, wanting Lu Yu to let it go. Lu Yu also cooperated and let it go, and the Black Shadow instantly turned into a ball of mist to escape. Just at this moment, the space next to him was suddenly torn apart, and a rotten hand poked out from it. The next moment, the hand grasped the Black Shadow. With a slight force, the Black Shadow instantly disintegrated, and nothing was left. After the Black Shadow dissipated, the hand did not go back, but quickly grabbed Lu Yu. What the hell? Lu Yu turned around and was about to run, but at this moment, the space around him seemed to be condensed, and he could not move. Not good. Lu Yu exclaimed in his heart, and he felt that he was about to die. At this moment, the bronze ancient sword in Lu Yu's hand suddenly shone brightly, and his blood was boiling. A figure appeared, holding the bronze ancient sword, and slashed with the sword. Destroy. Lu Yu could hear a voice coming from behind. The next moment, the hand was cut off in half, but it was instantly restored. A surprised voice came from the other side of the crack. "Well, don't kill for now." A voice came from the other side of the crack. The next moment, the rotten palm actually rushed up to the sky. "Move." A loud voice came out, full of evil spirit. The next moment, the darkness of the entire ancient land was boiling, like a flowing liquid, getting deeper and deeper. And in a place that Lu Yu couldn't see, the south gate of heaven collapsed silently. Outside the ancient land, the entrance to the ancient land. Damn, why did the ancient land enter the black hole faster? An elder was shocked, because the ancient land was falling towards the black hole at a very fast speed. The Lord of the Galaxy Palace also saw the scene and realized that something was wrong. "We can wait for them for 6 more days at most." The elders sighed, with a bad feeling in their hearts. In the ancient land, Lu Yu also noticed the increasingly deep darkness. In his eyes, there were more evil spirits around. That rotten big hand seemed to have dropped something. "Stop struggling, you will all go to extinction." The rotten hand returned, leaving only the sentence. The next moment, the crack closed. Lu Yu's back was already covered with cold sweat. Just now he thought he was going to die. Unexpectedly, his bronze ancient sword actually burst out with such terrifying power. With a long breath, Lu Yu held the bronze ancient sword in his hand and immediately went to the square. Back to the square, everyone's face was terrified. "Lu Yu, what just happened outside?" Ming 11 asked nervously. Lu Yu shook his head when he saw this. "Nothing. This kind of thing is difficult to tell them, and telling them will only increase their burden." Lu Yu looked at the stone statue. At this moment, the safety range of the square has actually shrunk. Darkness approached 1 meter in front of the stone statue. Obviously, the existence behind the crack did something. As for the purpose of his doing this, Lu Yu had no idea. Even why the other party said that, Lu Yu didn't understand. But these are not what I can worry about after all. The most important thing now is to break through to the Tongxian realm. The last 10,000 kilograms, Lu Yu felt that the time was right. Without any hesitation, Lu Yu took out 10 Shenyuan crystals and closed his eyes again. When the others saw it, their faces immediately fell. "Damn. We just practiced for a few days, and you come again." Helplessly, everyone can only wait. But fortunately, Lu Yu only needed a short time this time. Only half a day later, Lu Yu opened his eyes. His breath also reached a peak. Then, golden blood was raging. Everyone knelt down, looking at Lu Yu sitting cross-legged on the ground in horror. He was covered with golden light, his hair was golden, and his whole body was shining brightly. As if a god. Chapter 0306 The safety range is narrowed, the sisters are good. As if a god. This is the best description of Lu Yu at this moment. Global High Martial Arts, copy SSS-level talents at the beginning. Author, Yunzhong Mu Shui. Chapter 400. Lu Yu also felt his own surging energy and blood. Call. He exhaled, and even the darkness in front of him was cut open. Seeing this kind of power, Bai Mo and others were frightened. Entering Tongxian, definitely Tongxian. Everyone looked at Lu Yu in shock. Lu Yu looked normal and immediately called out the system panel. Host, Lu Yu. Realm, first level of Tongxian realm. Bloodline, 50% unlocking degree, 3rd stage. Physique, 105% unlocked. Copy points, 2,500, any number of copies, 8. Talent, divine talent. Powers, stepping on the star, holy level space system, Shenmue law body, extraordinary level wood type, Ningkong, extraordinary level space system, underworld, extraordinary level dark type, Ice Star, Extraordinary Level Ice Type, Hung Yang, SSS-level Fire System, Violent Blood, SSS-level Blood System, Wood Source Power, SSS-level Wood System, Split Sky, SS-level Space System, Shadow, SS Dark System, Windwing Slash, SS-level Wind System, The Power of the Forest, SS-level Wood Type. Rainstorm Ice Needle, SS-level Ice Type. Strength, 60 million kilograms. Speed, 2s. Nervous Response, Gods. Martial Skills, Hidden God Sword Technique, Remnant Divine Martial Skill, 9 Spears of Breaking Heaven, Remnant Divine Martial Skill, Tianxiao Fist, Demigod Martial Skill. Kaishin Fist, Middle Grade Xian Level, Strength increased by 260%, can be upgraded, Proficiency, Grandmaster. Jingyuan Spear Technique, Middle Level Xian Level, Strength increased by 220%, Attack Speed increased by 60%, Proficiency, Saint. Weapons, Ancient Bronze Sword, Unknown, Divine Mirror, Unknown, Red Electric Gun, Holy Level. My Takumi limit has been reached, 60 million kilograms. The numbers were almost as expected, and Lu Yu was quite satisfied. If you are a Tongxian martial artist who has not broken through the limit, and now enters Tongxian, your basic strength will only be over 1 million at most. This is the limit. For such an ordinary Tongxian, it would be no problem for Lu Yu to hit 100 with one hand. A little stronger, such as a genius from one of the top 100 powerful clans. The basic strength of Tongxian realm is estimated to be around 10 million kilograms. For BIMO, 30 million kilograms is as high as the sky. Thinking of this, Lu Yudi felt very happy. You go ahead and practice, I'll keep an eye on it for you. Lu Yu said, but very quickly, he discovered something that surprised him. Why, the safety range of the stone statue has retreated again. Lu Yu clearly remembered that before, he was only 1 meter away in front of the stone statue. Looking at it now, it is already less than 1 meter. Lu Yu frowned. He thought of something. Could it be the cause of the big rotten hand from before? Lu Yu, the stone statue shouldn't be able to protect us for much longer. Mingzi came over, and the others were also worried. During the half-day when Lu Yu attacked Tongxian, they all paid attention to the vicinity. The most intuitive feeling is that the darkness outside is steadily approaching. The safety range brought by the stone statues is shrinking. It seems that we won't be able to stay for long. Everyone, hurry up and practice. Lu Yu spread his hands. I have already broken through to Tongxian. To put it bluntly, even if the protective range of the stone statue disappears, my loss will not be very big if I leave here. Others were obviously aware of this, and they felt the urge to vomit blood. What the hell? Without any hesitation, everyone immediately sat up cross-legged and began to desperately absorb the power of the star source. The power of the star source here is too strong. If you don't absorb it now, it will be difficult to find such a good place in the future. Seeing that they were all in a state of cultivation, Lu Yu stretched his hands and feet and looked outside. With divine vision, he could easily see through the darkness outside. Those mysterious black fogs had no cover in his eyes. What are these, and what is the purpose of their existence? Lu Yu looked at a certain black figure in the fog with a thoughtful expression. In his eyes, the true face of the black shadow could be seen clearly. It should be an old man who had been dead for a long time. But now it has resurrected strangely, and is still wandering in the darkness. How is this done? Also, what is the nature of darkness? It can turn these black shadows into undead, and they can be condensed immediately as long as they are killed. Lu Yu didn't know this at first, and he didn't observe it until he had the eye of divine vision. If you kill a certain black shadow by yourself, it will immediately condense in the distance. Besides, what exactly is outside the Great Wall? What stuff? Is the existence behind that crack just secluded? Strangeness. Forget it, the 10th generation God-gifted queen is still alive. If you revive her yourself, you should be able to get some really useful information. Lu Yu pouted, not ready to think so much. He staggered and came to Mingzi's side. Hello. Lu Yu poked Mingzi. So soft. What are you doing? Ming 11 woke up from her practice and looked at Lu Yu with a puzzled look. I can help you practice. Lu Yu smiled. No need, Mingzi refused decisively. She was still angry with Lu Yu. When Lu Yu heard this, he stopped talking about his cold face and walked directly to the side. You three, yes, you three come here. Lu Yu pointed at the three women next to him. The three women stood up when they saw Lu Yu pointing at them. What's wrong, Lu Yu? One of the women looked at Lu Yu closely and moved closer. Wonderful. Not bad, very good. You three continue to practice, I will help you absorb the power of the star source. As he said that, Lu Yu glanced at Mingzi. As expected, Mingzi was grinding his teeth. This made Lu Yu even happier. The three women were overjoyed. When they heard what Lu Yu said, they immediately sat down cross-legged, looking at Lu Yu tightly. Lu Yu, is it okay? Yes, yes. As he spoke, Lu Yu urged his divine talent and frantically absorbed the star source power around him. Of course, this was not as terrifying as before, and did not affect the practice of others, but absorbed the star source power that was scattered and they did not absorb. In an instant, this huge star source power was poured into the bodies of the three women. Suddenly, they all made comfortable sounds and trembled a little. It's so comfortable, Lu Yu. Don't stop. I can't stand it anymore. The three women spoke out one after another, looking at Lu Yu with eyes full of surprise. Next to them, Bai Mo and others looked at the three women, saying that they were lying if they said they were not envious. With Lu Yu's help, the speed at which they absorbed the power of the star source was at least several times faster. Mingzi looked at the scene and his face fell instantly.